Okay, I think I have it on and working. Wait, what time is it? Am I early? I told everyone I'd go live at 11 Central. So, okay, it's 10:59:56. So, and now it is 11. I hope my audio is working. Sometimes it takes a while for it to turn on. Okay, so on this live stream, what is this title, Nicole? I'm gonna get into that. I just want to wait for a few more people to get on. Yeah, that was very unfortunate, and I wasted a lot of energy being mad about that, and I'm gonna get myself all worked up again tonight. Hang on, I need a drink, and I knocked over my water, now it's leaking everywhere. Okay. So on this live, I do want to talk about the Joker and the Queen. First of all, it was so funny to me how like Ed was promoting it, Taylor Nation was getting on board promoting it. Hi Delia. Like Ed was promoting it, Taylor Nation was promoting it, and Taylor was just like silent on social media literally until the day it premiered, which was so funny to me. Someone asked if I was doing a reaction to that. I decided not to because I just didn't think it would be that interesting of a reaction to watch, I guess. If you guys want me to do reactions to like the most small like projects she does though, please let me know. I just felt like it wouldn't be that interesting, but if you guys think it would be, like, I can try that out too, like if she collabs with someone else. I did react to Big Red Machine's entire album, including like Birch and Renegade, which I had already heard before. That was really nice. I really like doing that because there was a lot of critiques I had and like different opinions. I had a lot to say about that album. But anyways, with this one and the music video, I really like that they brought in those actors from the Everything Has Changed video. I thought that was so cute, and like I felt so old seeing how they're like fully formed people now, and they were like children back in 2013, and I was like a fully formed person in 2013. I was 14 years old watching that video, and like the progression of time, you guys, it's just the progression of time. Oh my god. But yeah, so that was jarring. I really recognized, I didn't know it was them at first. We've got more spam in the chat, that's cute. I didn't know it was the original actors at first. I thought it was the boy. Is that spam already? Yeah, I think it's been really bad lately. I went like all of Live Miss with like no spam near me. Hey North Dakota, I forgot what your real name is if you ever shared it. Are you Charlie? It's hard to connect names to usernames, especially when I haven't seen like your faces. But yeah, the song, I had heard it before, just like Ed's version. Taylor's verse is really cute. I still think Everything Has Changed is a better song. I don't think Taylor, she probably wrote her own verse and I like the lyrics of it, but I don't think she had anything to do with like the musical composition or anything like that. So I don't know, it didn't feel like super Swifty content to be putting out, but yeah, now I'm kind of like, shit, do people really want to? My real name's Nicole. Oh, okay. But yeah, now I'm like, I don't know if people wanted to actually see that. I wanted to wait for Luke before I get into my insane story because he said he's coming. It's morning in Georgia, like Saturday morning. Speaking of Luke, I'm gonna roast him real quick. So we like DM on Instagram all the time. And yesterday, around this time yesterday at like 11 p.m. or whatever, I was like in and out of sleep. I had like fallen asleep at 8 p.m. with like the lights on. I was so tired, just like napping. And I woke up at like midnight to eat, as you do. And I'm sitting there eating and scrolling through my phone, and Luke starts messaging me and he's like, "Where's the live?" And I like panicked for a second, thinking I was like late because it was already midnight by that point. And I was like, "Luke, that's tomorrow." And he's like, "But it is already Friday, Nikolsky." And I'm like, "It's Thursday for me." Like, I've had to walk him through the whole time zone thing. Oh, I frequently do that. I've had to walk him through the whole time zone math. And it's been so funny because he just... God, Luke is a very bright boy, you know, very like academically intelligent. But oh my god, time zones just bog him down and it's so funny. Yeah, so for him it's Saturday morning, but and we even like discussed previously that I was like, okay, you're 10 hours ahead of me, so just like add 10 to whatever time I give you, so that would be 9 a.m. for you. Yeah, and he got it mixed up to where I was behind, or no, where he was behind me. He thought it was already Friday night. I mean, it is a little bit confusing when you overcomplicate it, but like, oh my god, Luke. I hope, because he woke up early. He was like, I woke up early for this. Like, if he sat there and set an alarm, Luke. But yeah, I almost got roped into a pyramid scheme this week, so that was cute. My dad says hi. I say hi back, Delia's dad. So as you guys may know, I've been applying for jobs. I'm kind of working like part-time marketing, but it's like, I guess like contract paid. Tell your father I say hello as well. So they give me assignments and then I'm paid for those. So I have to like wait for work to come around. I didn't work at all in January, which was a bummer, and I've been like hassling my, I don't know what she is to me, I guess like the agent lady, like, do you have anything? Like, I can do stuff for you if you just like give me assignments. And I've been struggling to get her give me assignments. So I've just been applying literally since I graduated. Like, it's, oh my god, I'm so tired. I've been doing interviews. The last live I did was another interview I did. That one went well, but I haven't heard back, so that's cute. Anyways, I applied for this job on LinkedIn, literally on LinkedIn, like a reputable site that has like real job applications available on it. And it said it was to do marketing for a travel agency. And I was like, oh, I can do that. And I looked up the person who was posting the job, and it was this woman who actually so happened to live in Oklahoma as well, really far away from me. But I was like, oh my god, cool. She has her own little small business, and she needs someone to do marketing. Like, maybe, I don't know, my application would look good because we're in the same area, whatever, even though it's remote. So I apply for it. And then she sends me an email about a presentation she wants me to attend on Zoom about the company. And it kind of seemed like it would also be partially interview or whatever. So she had all these times laid out, and they were really weird times. It was either like 8 p.m. or like really early in the day. And I just decided, you know, I really don't want to either like wake up for this or have to change my evening plans, or like, you know, I really didn't want to wake up early for this presentation. And I had plans like every evening. So there was an option to request a pre-recorded presentation. And so I said, I'm just going to go ahead and request that from you. And so she sent me one finally. And I go to watch it, and it's an unlisted link on YouTube. So I click on it, and it's like an hour long. And because it is pre-recorded, I'm able to like watch it faster, like 2x speed. I set that on. I sit down to just listen about this company. And the woman who's presenting it is not the woman who put out the application. So I'm like, that's strange. And it also wasn't really talking about like a marketing position. It was like advertising it as I was going to be a travel agent. I am not certified to be a travel agent. Like, I literally don't have any qualifications. So I'm like, whatever, I keep watching, and they make it sound so good. They make it sound like there are all these benefits, and they also were stressing the fact that you get to work from home like it's this really crazy rare thing, and you get to have so much time with your family, and like making it sound like way more inaccessible than remote jobs actually are, especially at this time. So, oh my god, I'm watching this long ass presentation, and it's just mostly talking about all the pluses of working for this company. And then it gets to the end, and you know, little red flags are going up. They start talking about like referrals, where you're not just selling like travel packages to people, but you also would be like recruiting other travel agents. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And then the biggest red flag went up when they said you have to pay a monthly subscription fee every single month to work for them. Oh my god, I was mad. And even though I had watched it on 2x speed and did not spend a full hour on this, could you imagine if I would have woken up early to watch a presentation over a pyramid scheme? Oh my god, I was so mad. I was like infuriated. And I almost like emailed this woman back and said, ugh. I was getting so mad, worked up about it again. I literally plummeted my blood sugar so low the other day, like getting so worked up to my mom about this and like not having eaten anything all day, that I was like about to pass out in the Russian store. So I almost emailed her back and said, you know, I really think I should attend one of the in-person presentations. The thing is, it makes me so disgusted. Pay them to work for them. Exactly. Like, I thought this was you hiring me, not me trying to hire you. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I was mad. And they were saying they were gonna like do some, they were gonna train you. And there have been job opportunities I've seen that are legit that don't pay you for training, which like there was one recently that I was offered and it was only $10 an hour once you finish, like I think 8 hours of training. So that's a full 8-hour day. You're like not being paid for it. So I went ahead and rejected it because I can't get myself to do that. Maybe if it was 20 bucks an hour at the end of it, my aunt was in an MLM. There's so much anti-MLM content on YouTube that I've seen that a lot of people aren't aware of. And also, I've never heard of a travel agency MLM. I've heard of like Mary Kay, Avon, like makeup, jewelry. There's that Monet one. This makes zero sense to me. Listen up, Delia. You are young and you are not like looking for jobs yet, obviously, or maybe like part-time stuff. But oh my God, you need to stay away from these MLMs. MLM stands for multi-level marketing. There is so much anti-MLM content on YouTube that can tell you way more than I would be able to. A really good video I would recommend is by Natalia Taylor. She talks about getting roped into Mary Kay and she ended up in like $10,000 of debt. It's not a job and they market it towards you like, this is all over the place. How does travel moms even work? Travel MLMs? Okay, so this one, I'm gonna call it out straight up. It was called Evolutions Travel, and it's a subsidiary of the You Think You Watched That Video. It's so helpful. I think it explains things really well for people who have no experience with this sort of thing. But the one that I almost got roped into was called Evolutions Travel. Yes, you like sell vacations to people. That's the product that you're selling. But the most money you make is from recruiting other travel agents. Hi, Charlie. We're deep into a conversation right now. The whole thing is so disgusting. It makes me so mad. Taking advantage of people who need money and like are in a vulnerable state, whether that's like single moms with like a few kids and they're struggling to make ends meet already, or like people like me who might not know about MLMs, who are like fresh out of college, looking for an entry-level job. None of them really pay that well. And like, you see this thing that's marketed so well towards people who need money and like falling for that, and then you get into debt. It just, I'm getting heated again. Where the hell was I even? I was explaining MLMs to Delia. So, okay, I guess red flags to look out for, like, okay, the first time I'd ever really heard these was not from legit job site applications. That's not talked about a whole lot. The main way they do recruit people to work for their team is you would get like either Facebook messages or Instagram messages from people from high school who you've like haven't talked to in years, and they're like, hey girl, want to join my team, like want to be your own little boss babe, make your own hours, have your own business. It's so easy, anyone can do it, it's just like free money. They're like, basically all you have to do is like pay this fee to start working for this company. I swear to God, I'm DMing Luke. He's gonna be so sad he missed this. I wonder if Luke has this kind of stuff in Georgia. I was thinking about that before I was going to talk about this today. It's a huge problem in the US, I think. I don't know about other countries, though. I haven't seen, maybe Canada? I don't know. Let me know if you guys have MLMs where you're at. One of you guys is Australian. Charlie, you are, aren't you? I have to catch my breath. I'm getting mad again. But yeah, travel MLMs, you're putting together packages. She kind of, like, the job that I had signed up for was marketing for a travel agency, and I have a music industry degree. I'm too lazy to apply for a job. It's a full-time job all on its own. Oh my God, the amount of like weeding out of stuff you have to do is ridiculous. Scheduling in interviews. The applications are getting really just way above what they should be, in my opinion. I have had to write like, cover letters have been around for a while, I'm pretty sure, but like having to, like, what's the word? Like accommodate each one to each different job. I kind of have a template that I use, but like, it does take energy to have to go through that. And, also, sometimes they ask for writing samples. The ones that I apply for through Indeed sometimes have quizzes you have to take that take up a lot of time. Like I spent like 2 or 3 hours on one job application taking quizzes. Sometimes there is a phone interview where a robot interviews you. and that can get really time consuming, but usually they ask all the same questions, so I just write down my responses and then just read off my script for each one so that I can just like get applications in faster. But if you're not careful and you're not researching companies, that takes up a lot of your time, I assume. Oh, dance with Delia. Yeah, I didn't work in high school because I was in like music lessons and stuff, which is similar kind of time commitment. Driver's ed. I took driver's ed online. Yeah. Oh my god. But I lost my train of thought again. The robot interviews, everything's just very time consuming, and if you don't research the companies you're applying for, you end up wasting more time. Like, I did kind of research this woman's company. She acted like it was her own, like I was going to be doing social media marketing for her. And then it was just to recruit me as a travel agent under her. And then any travel packages that I sell, she would make a percentage off of my commission. So the more people you have under you, the more money you end up making off the backs of those people. It's really not ethical, and it's like gross. It's just, God, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. But I guess the good thing about like a travel MLM is that you don't have to buy product that you then have to get rid of. Like, that's how Natalia, in her video, she said she ended up in a lot of debt because she had to buy inventory from Mary Kay, and then she is responsible for selling all of that so that she makes her money back. But with travel packages, you don't have to buy anything. You're just like, I don't know, throwing together some flights, some cruises, some excursions, and like trying to sell it to somebody. But obviously that's not going to make you as much money as recruiting other people under you, because a pyramid scheme, it's like the person at the top, which is the 1%, they're the ones making the most money off all the people under them. And like 90% of the people in a pyramid scheme company are not making shit. They're mostly losing money with all those membership fees. So, you know, I think there's a whole other conversation going on in the chat. I had to learn to drive because of horses, so driver's ed was a real quick thing for me. I live in a big city, so also just too much nonsense on the highways and roads. Oh yeah, I didn't even go on the highway for a very long time because it's stressful. Oklahoma's nice to learn to drive in. There's so many empty back roads, but also really corrupt cops. So more red flags I saw as I was watching this presentation. They hook you with all those amazing benefits, and then they start telling you you have to pay a fee every month. And that fee, they said the original fee was 300 and something bucks a month, but they were lowering it. Hi, what is your favorite Harry Potter movie and book? Ooh. I think my favorite one is, what's the third one? The Prisoner of Azkaban. Movie? Probably also that one. I think they get better as they go on. However, it does get more emotionally taxing as they go on. Both the books and the movies, with all of the deaths that happen on the back end, for sure. The Prisoner of Azkaban, I think it just has the best plot. Like, it's so riveting. There's nothing sad going on. I think I rated the first book 4 stars because it was very much like setting stuff up. And then all books after that were 5. Like, I didn't see a single flaw. I mean, J.K. Rowling is a walking flaw, but there are corrupt cops everywhere so much in California. Yeah, rural areas here, like the Tulsa ones are not that bad. I've actually seen a lot of good stuff about them, but the ones like in the really tiny towns around here are like really bad. I live at the bottom of a hill that is actually so steep it's illegal. Illegal? So yeah, I'm watching this presentation after they tell me about all these perks and benefits, and I'll get to travel and I'll get to stay at home with my family. Like, it's such a rare thing nobody can do when there's so many remote jobs available. They say the monthly membership fee is like 300 bucks, but because of the pandemic and because people are so desperate to be working online, they're going to go ahead and lower that fee to $49.99 or something. And as I started Googling, I exited the presentation by this point because I was like, I am not paying money to work somewhere. Like, you should be paying me. So I start Googling this company, and I find out that that monthly membership fee has been $49.99 forever. Like, it's not because of the pandemic. That made me really heated because it's like, you're really going to take advantage of like this world situation and say that you're lowering your fees when it's literally always been the same. It's just like a new excuse to like make it sound better than it is. Oh my god. And then another red flag is like they talk about how like before they tell you there's a monthly membership fee, they say, have you ever had to invest in something in order to work somewhere? Like, you've had to buy clothing that you have to wear to work. Like, oh, my husband has these suits and ties that he has to buy so he can wear them to work. And like people in the chat were saying like, no, I've never had to buy anything to work at a job or like invest money into something. And she's like, yes, you have. You've put gas in your car to get to work or whatever. But it's like, I feel like there is such a difference between buying a product that you will keep regardless of if you have that job or not, and literally paying your boss. Just the like, oh my god, the reaching. It makes me so mad. But yeah, I was pissed, and I thought about emailing this woman who acted like this was her own company when really she was under someone else, who was under someone else, who was under someone else. And I don't know, it's so gross. They say like this is their own business, like you are being manipulated. But I was gonna email her and say like, oh, I think I need to see a real presentation and attend one of the Zoom meetings. I've changed my mind. And just like completely call out this woman in the chat because everyone was muted, but like, I don't know, it just makes me gross that there are people who are coming to those presentations in the Zoom. Lots of people, there's like 60 people watching, and like maybe they're falling for this. Like I almost did because I'd never heard of traveling CMLM. But I'm so glad I know the red flags. I don't know, I wanted to like save some people, but I'm not going to be able to save everyone, I guess. I don't know, I can talk about my experience, but I can't save every single person. So I decided to just cut my losses, I guess. I have 6 hours of dance tomorrow. Oh my god. How much do you do on school days? Oh my god, you guys are talking about hills. Nicole's ranting about MLMs and we're talking about driving. What do you think about the Joker and the Queen remix? Oh, I talked about that in the beginning of the live, but I really like the music video because they brought in those actors from Everything Has Changed. I think it's a cute continuation. And I like Taylor's verse, but overall the song, I don't know, it's not hitting a whole lot for me. I listened to the original before the remix came out. I think Everything Has Changed is a better song. I mean, I like Ed's work, don't get me wrong. I like a lot of his songs, but this one is just not one of my top favorites. So yeah, that's my opinion. People wanted me to react to it, but I didn't think it would be that interesting. 1 to 3 on school days, it varies depending on the day. Okay, that's not that bad. Well, I also come from like, you know, like music school, watching performance majors or education majors play piano, or whatever instrument for like hours at a time. And that's normal. So, I was just about to say it's different though, because you're using like your whole body and that can get fatigued really easily, but I've seen so many instrumentalists end up with tendinitis. Tendinitis, that's what it's called, right? Like in their hands, or vocalists, laryngitis, things like that. They're on vocal rest for weeks. Like you have to be very careful not to overexert yourself. And there's ways I've been taught as a vocalist to practice for like 4 hours a day without actually singing the entire 4 hours. Listening to a recording and mouthing the vocals really helps with memorization, looking through your sheet music, making notes, all of that. There's so many different ways to do it. The song sounds just like how I imagine Ed Sheeran sounds. It's a very generic wedding song. Yeah, I see. It's a little slow for me, I feel like. I don't know. Music video is cute. I wish Taylor and Ed were in it though. Like they were in the Everything Has Changed video when at the end they show up. Or like the All Too Well video, Taylor shows up at the end. My hands used to be fucked up from cello when I did that, seriously. Yeah. One of my friends I went to high school with, he went so hard his first 2 years of college and ended up dropping out. He was a piano major because he ended up with such bad tendinitis and like it wasn't healing. You have to be so careful. It's like now he's a I think history education major. He wants to be a history teacher. But yeah, he could have been a piano teacher and like that was his passion, but you know, life comes at you like that. I feel like I wanted to say one more thing about the MLM, but I don't remember what it was. I I think I was gonna talk about how someone tried to traffic me while I was applying for jobs. I haven't mentioned that yet, I don't think. There's a lot of sketchy stuff out there. It wasn't even anything I applied for either. I was signing up for, like, other third-party websites like Indeed that would just kind of have my resume on hand, and obviously that includes, like, my email and, like, phone number. What? Yes, but I did not fall for that either. But it makes me disgusted. That's why I get so heated, because, like, there are people who could be falling for this. Anyways, I can't remember what site it was. God, I wish I did, because I would tell you guys. But I have a feeling I know which site did it. It was not Indeed. I think Indeed is pretty reputable. I've been using that mostly, as well as LinkedIn. But Nicole, excuse me. Hang on. I thought there was a bug in my ring light for a second. It's not. It's just a smudge. That's dirty. Hang on. I just blinded myself. So I signed up for this third-party sites to try to apply to some jobs that way. I think they ended up selling my information. I respect people who do performing arts so much, like I need a steady hand for art, but nowhere near the intenseness of instruments or dance. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, with different kinds of art practicing, you could also end up with freaking tendonitis or carpal tunnel. I don't think I've known anyone who got carpal tunnel from that. But yeah, it's usually tendonitis. So I'm pretty sure they sold my information. So I get a call, and this was back when I was applying for some in-person jobs too, so it wasn't that unusual. I get a call about this company that I applied for, and they want to, like, schedule me for an interview or whatever. So I'm listening to this voicemail, and I hear the name of this company, and I look through my list that I've made of all of the places that I've applied for, and I can't find this company on the list. And then so I Google the company. It's not even in my state. So where would I be coming in for an interview? I was applying to some places out of state, considering I would, like, move there if, like, the salary was high enough, whatever. But this was just not one that I had applied for, and I made a list, thank God. So I just ignore it. And then I get another call, and they're, like, confirming my interview at this location in Tulsa. And I'm like, do you think I am a dumbass? But also I don't judge that there are people who are, like, so desperate for a job that they maybe aren't keeping a list of all the places they applied, or just, I don't know, they just assume they already applied because you apply to so many places that they all start to blend together. So maybe they would come in and it would end up being just, like, a horrible situation. But yeah, that made me really heated. That was back in, like, November though, I think, or October. I don't think I ever talked about that on my channel. But yeah, there's so much freaking shit you have to watch out for now, and it makes me infuriated that these are people who, like, are desperate for a job. Like, they need money. They're gonna do what they can to get hired, especially right now when it's so difficult. I'm shaking. And then the reason I'm, like, talking about this again, first of all, the whole MLM pyramid scheme thing, it, like, jogged my memory of, like, oh yeah, I almost got trafficked that one time. But I saw this TikTok that was talking about how, like, those copied posts that people share on social media, mostly, like, Facebook, of, like, somebody who supposedly was in a shopping mall parking lot and somebody tried to snatch them, and, like, you don't know how, like, reputable those anecdotes are unless you, like, know that person personally. A lot of the time it's just, like, reshared like crazy and it goes viral, and how that, like, perpetuates this fear that, like, maybe is not super realistic. Especially when you think about, I don't know, I think it's, like, when you look at the reality of human trafficking, most of the time the victim knows the person who is doing this to them. Like, they prey on very vulnerable people who are either, like, LGBTQ youth who are kicked out, people who don't have parents who are, like, really invested in that kid's life, young people. Like, it's not that likely to just be snatched from a, like, white suburban shopping mall. More spam, so aesthetic. I don't see the spam. Maybe it deleted it suddenly. But yeah, someone was saying, like, we should stop spreading this misinformation or whatever. And then I started thinking about the freaking job application thing, how sometimes you get calls for jobs that aren't jobs, and nobody talks about that. I'd never heard about that. So at the same time, it's like, I feel like we should be sharing our experiences. I'm not someone who's, like, vulnerable to being trafficked. I live at my parents' house. I'm not LGBT. I'm running out of breath again. But, like, nobody knows that when, like, they get your information from these third-party job sites. Like, I think they're just trying anyone who's, like, desperate enough to come in, like, they're not being super careful, I guess. I mean, when they see you in person, you look like someone who would have someone looking for you, I guess. They wouldn't target you. But when it's just your information from Indeed, they don't know what your circumstances are. I have a friend who was trying to be a model. She got in some sketchy situations. There are so many tactics that people don't talk about. All I really see is this parking lot stuff. I don't know. Is there truth to that, though? Because I've seen some police departments posting about it and saying, like, I guess Oklahoma is really bad for human trafficking because the way our highways work, you can, like, get out of here in a really short amount of time or something. But obviously, yeah, they want people who don't have, like, family who's going to be looking for them immediately and filing police reports. Usually she brings along either her brother and her boyfriend. What kind of modeling does she do? My mom did modeling when she first came here. I mean, that was back in the 90s, but she did it through an agency, so everything was, you know, if you don't have an agent or, what was it called? It was Linda Lehman. I think that might be nationwide. I was taking classes through John Casablancas when I was 13. I never actually finished my courses. I was really clumsy, like, even though I was tall and, like, they accepted me. My shoe flew off and landed in front of the, like, teacher because I was wearing shoes, like, 3 sizes too big. It was not cute. I could not walk in heels. I got really discouraged and I quit. I left for a minute, but wouldn't parking lot be more kidnapping, abduction territory? Well, I think they, like, it depends where you are. Like, the fear-mongering posts I'm talking about, some of them talk about malls in, like, suburban, like, really white areas where if you kidnap some, like, young girl, more than likely her parents are gonna know she's missing, be actively looking for her, filing a police report. The reason statistics say that most people who are, like, kidnapped or abducted know their kidnapper is because those people are just more vulnerable. Like, I don't know if you missed the part about, like, saying, like, kids who are kicked out for being LGBT. Those people are very susceptible to being trafficked. So I guess it depends on the area. If you're in, like, a, like, lower class area of town, there would be more opportunities, I guess. I don't know. It feels so disgusting calling it that, but, like, but again, with a job interview, you don't know what kind of person would actually show up. So they're just trying every avenue. She worked mostly with photographers who were trying to grow businesses. Yeah, if you're literally just coordinating with photographers, especially ones you haven't met, yeah, it can get sketch. But yeah, I even had friends who had done the John Casablancas modeling course that I did and did it all the way through and ended up getting jobs through that agency, though. So it's like there's the middleman who makes sure you get paid, first of all. They take 10% of your revenue, but it's like you're trading that in for, like, safety and not being, like, scammed out of doing work for free. I mean, imagine getting kicked out and being picked up by your friend's parent thinking they were trying to help you. Exactly, literally. Yeah, it's not just anybody is at risk just because you're in a parking lot. Like, a lot of the time it's someone you trust. Because they have to know what they're dealing with. They have to know that nobody's going to be looking for you, as bad as that is. But, yeah, after watching that TikTok, I was like, but this stuff does happen randomly. Like with job applications where they don't know who's gonna show up. Like, it could very well be someone who is vulnerable. Today we had to go to medical, oh wait, that's going too fast. Today we had to go to medical career presentation, so we dressed professionally, ended up climbing 19 flights in 3 to 4 inch heels. Oh my god, my feet hurt thinking about that. I now know my shoe size, so I do not accidentally kick off my shoe as I'm walking. I'm a little disappointed I didn't go all the way through, because I feel like that could have been a fun thing, especially having an agency that takes away all risk. But I was always more into music. Walking in heels is bad, but today has taught me to get worse. God. I haven't worn heels in a while. Well, I wear, like, heeled boots. There weren't elevators. Where is Luke? He missed my whole rant. I wanted to know if there are MLMs in Georgia. I had to dance in heels today. I hate it. I saw your video too, Shake It Off. Oh my god. Sorry guys. I'm burping. Is anybody else having problems with Instagram lately? Because last night my entire profile disappeared and I was messaging people like, hey, do you see my stuff? Because I can't see my stuff. We couldn't use the elevators due to COVID. Oh my god. God, I forget that there are other places that are not the South that are actually, like, careful. But yeah, I turned my phone off and on. It still didn't work. So I deleted the app and re-downloaded it and finally it worked. Freaking Zuckerberg. Hang on. I was gonna say something else. Oh my god. You guys are getting your, like, free code tests in the mail, right? You have to sign up for them. Each household gets 4. We got our 4. I wish I had my apartment still, because then I'd get another 4, like, for my family. Also, that is so doesn't make sense to me that, like, each household gets 4. There are 3 people in my household, so we have, like, 1 extra. But, like, there are households with, like, 2 parents and, like, 5 kids. So that doesn't make much sense to me. Oh, we're the South, but we're in the literal medical centers, so they're careful. Oh, okay. I need to ask my mom if they use elevators at her hospital still. I think Luke is asleep. Oh no, given I live with 7 people, it isn't exactly gonna help. Yep. Another example. What is the saying? Equality doesn't equal equity. That's not right. And also, it's so late. Like, yeah, it's great they're doing this, but, like, we really fell behind. I think that you should convince Peter to join your lives more. He works a ton. But yeah, I kind of thought he would be on here. What are you guys reading currently? I love my new background. I haven't changed the letterboard like I said I would, but to be fair, I said I would change it for videos, not live streams. I'm currently reading, hang on, let me grab it. Oh, there's a cat hair in the top. It's called Skinship. Sorry, there's so much reflection. Okay. Skinship by Yoon Choi, maybe. She's a Korean author. It's a book of short stories about Korean American families, a lot of, like, immigrant families. God, there was one. I'm sorry, but how much can you work at Bath and Body Works? A lot. Especially, like, sale season. I mean, that's kind of over now. Well, I don't know. They do, like, those semi-annual ones. I'm not completely sure. I'm just reading some random book for school, or was it Lush? No, it's Bath and Body. Vinny. Oh my god. I really like the eye reading. That's my favorite part of that message. That's so funny. I'm over here with my, like, here's the Korean American immigrant stories. They're very insightful and inspiring. And that's your answer. There's one in here called, hang on. A Map of the Simplified World. Oh my god, it made me want to cry. It was just so well written. We Are Displaced. It's Malala's book about refugees. Oh, I've heard of that one. Malala, what's her last name? Start with, like, a U sound. Grammar, we love it. But yeah, I think all of these stories are actually made up. Like, I think this author is just making short stories about, like, the Korean American experience. But she uses different dialects and, like levels of English, I guess, for each character. So the one that I talked about, The Map of the Simplified World, it was from the perspective of a girl who had grown up in the US and, like, English was very much, like, her first language. It was very lyrical and, like, articulate. And then there was another one of a woman who had recently moved to the US and had, like, not the greatest English. So there was, like, a lot of articles, like, she would say, I have the son and I have the husband instead of, like, a husband. Or she would talk about what she was eating. She would say, like, I am eating the squid. I am eating the seaweed. And it's like, I really understand what she's doing, but it also got really awkward when she said the sentence, we have the sex. It was like, Okay, this is getting just so the way she explains things was like kind of what's the word? Like not uncomfortable to read, but just like hard to get into it, I guess. Um yeah, I understand using dialects, but it's like obviously this author, she's creating these stories. She has the ability to like do a really yes. Yes, that's what it said. Maybe I can find it. She obviously has the ability to write in a really beautiful way in English. I obviously wouldn't judge if the entire book was like that, but it's like she makes things a little less easy to get into just for the sake of um like I guess realism. Hang on. I saw a question I missed. What's the character's first language? So they all are from Korea, or the woman who was talking like that, she was a recent Korean immigrant, so it makes sense, but it's also, it makes it harder to get into just because like there were some awkward moments like that. But then other characters who have spoken English for a while, it's really easy to just get lost in the story. This author has really good writing. I'm really enjoying this book. I should finish it tonight. There are 2 bookmarks in it because my mom and I are both reading it. Yes, it is from the library because I don't like to spend too much money on all the books I read. So are you guys convinced Speak Now is next? Or are there any 1989 believers left? I need to know. I really am banking on Speak Now. I'm also very excited for Speak Now because I have a feeling that's going to be... Vinny. Are you still laughing over that? Oh, I was gonna find that in here. I think Speak Now is gonna be the best re-recording that happens other than like Fearless and maybe Taylor Swift, the debut album, because like I think Fearless was better than Red, looking back. Oh, because I know Vietnamese, and for that, at least articles are super weird, like they don't exist sometimes. Yes, in Russian, they don't use articles like that. My mom struggles with articles too sometimes, but it's more like she doesn't like to use them at all. Um, with Koreans, it seems, just based on this book, that they overuse the. It's so interesting how that happens. Like, our articles in English, I think, are really strange compared to other languages, but like depending what language it is you're coming from, you like misuse them in different ways. I just let others do the theorizing for me. After the 1989 situation from June, I've stopped believing in any theories. It's hard not to like buy into it though. I really struggle to not clown. Hi Charlie, you were already here, weren't you? Yeah, I'm really struggling to not just be completely clown makeuping myself right now. Okay, a story about my mom's misuse of articles. So, I don't remember if I've told this or not. Maybe. So when I was taking voice lessons, I would go to them after school, like just alone. Sometimes my mom would come to them depending on the time they were at, but she was like working. So I would go to them after school, and my voice teacher asked me about a text she got from my mom that was kind of strange. And my mom meant to tell my voice teacher, we don't have a time for lessons yet this semester. Like, we don't have a scheduled set time and day. My mom actually wrote, we don't have time for lessons this semester. So my voice teacher is showing me this text, like, so you're quitting? I'm like, no, that's not what that means. I had to just completely translate this. God, the miscommunication that happens, I don't know, my mom is like the opposite of like what Korean Americans tend to do based on this book, where she just doesn't use articles at all. So I guess it's better to just throw in a the every now and then. I know zero Korean, but from the Chinese and Vietnamese people I know, they don't usually overuse the. I mean, I wouldn't know at all because I did read one book by Yeonmi Park, who was a North Korean defector. I know those dialects are completely different, and like the accents are different. But oh, I did tell you that. I felt like I did on a live stream. But she didn't overuse the at all. I mean, I think her book was actually translated, so I feel like somebody maybe had oversight of that. This is definitely like a conscious choice. The author obviously speaks English really well. She is a Korean immigrant, I think. Hang on, it talks about it in here. She was born in Korea and moved to the US at the age of 3, so her English is really good, I'm sure. And the way she writes, there's not a translator, it's just her way of speaking English. I mean, I do admire that she like changes the way she writes based on like somebody who's obviously not as experienced with the language, but like again, it's hard to get into the story. The theories. Okay, I think Speak Now is going to sound the best, other than Fearless and Taylor Swift, because looking back, I love Red Taylor's version. I love the vault tracks. I think they were the better vault tracks from the two that we've gotten. But just the like not like the quality, but like the trueness to the original that we got from Red was not as strong as Fearless, because the more electronic songs like 22 or We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together just didn't sound quite right. I don't think she was able to use the same producers. I think when you're using real instruments, especially like acoustic, I'm scared for rap. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared for rap and I'm scared for 1989 because those are the most electronic ones. The more acoustic ones on Red, I think, really saved it in terms of like staying as close to the original as possible. Like State of Grace sounds so good. Red sounds so good. All Too Well. Treacherous, I Almost Do. All of those sound so good. And the quality of the production is so good. Like using those real instruments to like their maximum potential, like she achieved that and I'm so happy with that. But the electronic stuff I think is so hard when you don't have the original producer. Like anything that's missing Max Martin, I am afraid. I want heavier beats and harder basses. Yes, not softer ones. I want stuff to be more intense. I want it to be more Phil Spector, Wall of Sound kind of. If you don't know who Phil Spector is, he's a murderer, first of all. No, he was a huge producer in the like 60s. He was responsible for like the Beach Boys sound. That one song by the, what was their name? Be my little baby. That one. He had this method of producing that was called the Wall of Sound, where he like pretty much made every single instrument just balls to the wall, so that it just had such a rich, full sound. And like that's pretty much the standard in today's music. You wouldn't ever not use everything to its maximum potential. But I have seen differences between now and like 2008 or 2012. Fearless, pretty much every track on Fearless is so good and clean. I'm scared because I really want to love Rep. Who did most of the producing on that one? If she can get the same, that's the most recent one. So maybe if she's able to get the same producers, they might, you know what else I'm scared for? The part in I Did Something Bad that's like, yeah, I'm scared for that. Who did that? Was that Shellback? Even if the production is trash, I still want to know the vault tracks. Yes, I'm most excited for the vault tracks. I think it's very smart that she's doing the vault tracks, because those are like, you know, if someone's disappointed with like how the new recordings sound, obviously we're all going to support her in like not giving Scooter money. But the vault tracks is what gives the anticipation for the album. Like the new stuff that she's doing for it is like, that anticipation is so good and so smart and just like amazing marketing. Rep has Jack, Max, and Shellback. Oh, okay, thank you. I was about to look it up, but now I don't have to. I think Jack will be on it for sure, but Max, I guess, charges a lot of money to re-record or to do a song. I've had We Don't Talk About Bruno stuck in my head for the past 2 weeks. We don't talk about Bruno. Like, I'm not concerned. I'll support her no matter how it sounds. And I will be excited every single time because I cannot stop myself from being excited. But I'm also scared. And the more I think about how some of the electronic Red tracks sounded, the more scared I become. But oh my god, the stuff with the real instruments, I am going to lose my shit when Speak Now comes out. Because it's like every single track is like violins, cellos, amazing percussion, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, like, guys, everything is going to be so distinct and rich, because that was literally over 10 years ago. Like, the production quality that we have now. Haunted? Can you imagine Haunted? Enchanted. Enchanted is already amazing. I'm actually kind of scared for that one, though, now that I think about it, because it is already amazing. No, I think the dynamics will continue to stay how they are, where, I think Enchanted resonates with so many people because it is so dynamically, interesting. It's like so quiet, and then suddenly that whole like and it's like explosion of chorus. I think they'll be able to do that. Yeah. I mean, like the stuff like State of Grace, which was pretty dynamic to start with, became even more so. I don't like Bruno. I don't like how it sounds. It makes me uncomfortable. Who's Bruno? The 7-year-old? Oh, okay. I haven't watched Encanto yet. Hang on. Shit. What else was I gonna say? God, I already forgot. Ugh. Oh yeah, Begin Again. Begin Again sounds so good. That one is getting like newfound appreciation because the re-recording is so crisp. And also, I appreciate that she made the harmonies, well, not, I guess her producer, like put the harmonies in the like forefront, which doesn't usually happen. Usually they're very hidden and like blended in. But like the harmonies on Begin Again now are so prominent and it sounds so good. I'm obsessed with it. It just sounds so good. Sparks Fly is gonna sound so good. Oh my god. I'm curious about Better Than Revenge. I think it's gonna sound good because it's, while it is something that is like electric guitar as opposed to acoustic, I still think that's something that's pretty easy to recreate. Especially if it was Taylor playing the guitar on it. She'd obviously be able to do what she did back then. I don't know, she might have had some other musicians adding more guitar tracks on top of it though, just for richness. But I always forget you two are so young. You talk like I do, which either means I talk like a 15-year-old or you talk like a 20-year-old. There are no age, what's the word? Age, you can be any age and come to my channel. It's so funny to me when I like really realize some of you guys are like 15 though, because like I talk about MLMs and everybody who's like in their 20s is like, ah, yep, MLMs, and Delia's over here like, huh? I'm like, oh girl. Don't even get me started. But honestly, yeah, everybody needs to freaking know about those. Limits, yes. Limits or minimums, I guess. I mean, the majority of my audience is very much like female, 18 to 25 though. Like, it is insane restrictions. Yeah, that's probably what I mean. Minimums and maximums. I'm playing with a piece of cat hair. Yeah, I think it's like, it might be like 50 or 60% 18 to 25 and like 80% women. When you talk about driving and you two can't even get a license yet. Oh, that's weird to think about how long I've been driving. But I guess I still have my first car. So I think that's what also makes it hard to think about, because it's like I still have the same thing I've always been driving in, so it feels like, oh, it's been like 3 years, but in reality it's been, oh shit. It's been, hang on, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's been 7 years. It feels like 3. 7 years since I started driving? What? That's not right. But yes, as you can see, I am very excited for Speak Now. I wasn't until like this past week. Just like knowing how rich that is going to be. I think vocally Reputation will sound really close to the original because it was the most recent one. Reputation was only, what was that, 5 years ago? And she'll be able to re-record it in November. So we might see it next year at some time. So only 6 years after the original, her voice will sound the same. The production. New Year's Day is going to sound so good. It's going to sound so good. I can already tell you that right now. Call It What You Want, I think, will be really refreshed. When you think about the vocal thing Jack did, because it's Jack and he's going to make an appearance again, I'm sure. Call It What You Want is going to sound so good. What is that called? The vocal, like, ad-lib, shit, there's a name for it. In the beginning of Call It What You Want, that, like, oh, thing that's, like, choppy, vocal, whatever. The ad-lib thing in the beginning that Jack kind of created. He had a name for it, and there is a common name for it, but I can't remember it. I think that's going to be refreshed and probably different because it's hard to recreate something like that. but I think it'll be like good and new. My friend didn't get her license till she was 20. My boyfriend didn't until he was like 19. I've been driving since way before I was supposed to. I actually, Getaway Cars Jack, so it'll be good. At the same time, even though it's the same producer, isn't it hard to do the same stuff you did that's electronic? Like, well, he probably has the original, like, project saved. Maybe? I hope so. Then he can just kind of look at it and, like, literally imitate every single track he has. Because I know Jack is someone who makes, like, a million different tracks for each minuscule sound. And if he literally has the blueprint of the old one, ooh, that could really help. So I see what you mean there. I actually drove my mom's car for the first time when I was 14 around the neighborhood, but it was really scary. And when there was a car coming, I literally just let her take the wheel. I'll take the wheel. But yeah, oh my god, I remember having my permit for like 6 months, and then you have the restrictions on your license. You can't like go out after a certain time. I wonder how the nuances are going to change. It won't be obvious, I don't think. If he still has the original file, like, we're in luck. But yeah, if he doesn't, that's gonna be tricky. It's a shame Luke never showed up. Oh, I have to pop my back. Hold on. Now this way. I'll probably have to listen to the first and then to the Taylor's version to notice them. Yeah, I've been listening to Reputation a lot though, so I feel like, I don't know, that's the freshest one in my mind. I listened to her newer albums more, so I didn't really miss anything with Fearless. Like, her vocals were a lot different, but because I hadn't listened regularly in so long, the newer ones are always on repeat for me, so with Reputation I'll probably notice things. It's getting kind of hot in here. Yeah, it's 70 degrees now. It gets toasty when I shut my door. Wait, isn't spring break in like April? Isn't it usually in March? Okay, I really have to pee, and I have stuff I need to get done. So thank you guys for coming to this live. Let me know if you want reactions to stuff Taylor does that is not her own thing, but like a project with another artist. I will keep that in mind for next time she collabs with someone. And yeah, I'm gonna post a new video on Sunday. I'll do another live next month. So thank you guys for coming. Bye.